Hello, everybody, and welcome to Behind the Camera with AndyGames. This is the podcast where I interview streamers and content creators with the sole purpose of getting to know the person a little bit better behind the camera. Tonight's guest, we have none other than the stud himself, LuigiDini. Dini, thank you so much for taking the time to come on Behind the Camera. How are we doing?
No, we're good, man. I appreciate you having me on, dude.
Of course, man. Always was going to be the case. But yeah, so say you know the format of this. I have a few questions for you just to sort of get to know you just a little bit better, and we'll just take it from there. We will just sort of have a nice conversation, just shoot the shit a little bit, and yeah, man, get to know you a little bit better for all of the live viewers on Twitch, TikTok, and for those listening on all of the platforms. So let's get underway. So first of all, in regards to the space that we're in, the realm of Super Mario 64, it's safe to say you've burst on the scene these last few months. But I know that this wasn't the beginning of LuigiDini. Like I know your history goes back a lot further than that. So take us back to the very beginning, from your gaming history right through to your streaming history and to the present day, how you got to doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, sure. When it comes to like gaming and getting here, back in the day, my first systems were like Super Mario, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, things like that. Um, so that just shows you how aged I actually am. But no, but no, those were my first systems. Loved Mario as a kid. Really dug the Blue Blur, which was Sonic. So like growing up, video games with me and my cousins were always an integral part of our, upbringing and
Mm-hmm.
growing up. Eventually, when I went to college, I got into broadcasting.
Oh,
So
nice.
doing things, yeah. So doing things of like, I had my own radio show, I had my own TV show at the for the college campus, things of that sort. Um, and so that's kind of where like I don't want to call it like the performing portion of it, but like that's kind of where it was like, all right, we could shake it, we could like speak, we could talk about things, we can be in front of a camera, be behind a
Mm-hmm.
microphone, things of that sort. And then, eventually, fast forward till now, last year, one of my high school best friends is who also is a streamer. He started streaming, Call of Duty, the first person shooters, Call of Duty, Fortnite, stuff like that. And like he started to get this like little following. He would have like this little group, and I had no idea what it was. Like I didn't know what a Discord was. I didn't know what a VC was. All I knew was like, yo, my boy's playing video games. He's making a little extra coin. He's getting to know some people. I'm like, that's pretty dope. That's cool. So, me thinking, hey, let's try to, be like my best friend. I got a Twitch account. And I started playing the retro games, the games I used to in the past, like Super Mario 64,
Yeah.
obviously like the Sonic games, Star Fox, Mario RPG, obviously, and like my cousins would watch me, my family members would watch me. I would have like one or two randos in there. Some like I'll get a troll once a month who would come in and like being like, no one's gonna watch this game, whatever. And I'm like, yo, bro, I know. I'm just chilling. I'm trying to have a good time and play my games. But no, so that's where it kind of like the streaming aspects part of it came in was I was just playing retro games, like the games I loved, games I played. Um, and then eventually, TikTok Live became a thing. And this year, late January is when like, I surpassed the 1,000 mark for followers because I used to make these dumb videos, and I mean they're funny now if you like, but they're super cringe if you look back on them. They're still there. I had like a donut segment of like it was so stupid. You'll have to scroll back in my channel to see
I
it, but
feel like I'm gonna
I
have
got
to,
follow.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, dude, it's stupid, but it got followers. But
Goddamn
so I
right.
got 1,000 followers, was able to go live, and then eventually I kind of put Twitch to the side and just focus on
Hmm.
TikTok's studio and stuff like that. And now we're kind of here. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
for sure. And like it's quite interesting how like that journey goes, considering that like well, how you say you started out where it was a case of my friends playing retro games here. I want to get in on this. I want to kind of give this a go. This looks like a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And then when it does sort of take place and it gets to the point where you get a following this, that, and the other, and then you can kind of really like shape the direction in which you want it to go in. So like obviously it becomes a bit more sort of centralized around the idea of like content creation rather than just being a case of, oh well, I'm just playing games here. Like, it really does kind of take in like its own form, which is like it's quite interesting how it is like such like an evolutionary thing. But like I like the sort of way you keep in with the retro thing, because something that I always like talk about is when you're doing this, you have to stay true to yourself. But because it just makes sense. So it's like obviously you grew up with retro games. Well, they weren't retro at the time, but
We're done.
they were just games at that point. Like,
We're just games.
you started off with retro gaming, and then it's just like, right, okay, this is what I know, this is what I like, and it's just like, why would I do something else unless it's something, Because I seen you playing. Was it one of the was it an NFL game recently? I think I seen you doing on Twitch. Maybe
Oh,
a
I was
couple of
playing college
times.
football. I was
College
playing
football.
college football
Yeah.
25. Yeah, that was kind of like my re introduction. I think we DM'd about it when it actually happened, but yeah, like I went live on Twitch for like the first time since like I don't know, January of this year. It
Hmm.
was just a random college football game. It was like a dynasty with me and my college buddies that we started up, and like, you know, a couple of like my TikTok followers now, like Moneyman Harris, they like popped in. They're like, "Yo, what's this game? What are you doing? You didn't tell us you were live." I'm like, "I know. I was just trying to chill, and I pressed the button, and it." But no, like, yeah. So it's good to be in the variety, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I like that I'm dual streaming now to both TikTok and Twitch because yeah, it's just now that the computer's actually being able to handle both, it's nice.
Yeah, no, I feel that like once you get like a good setup and you can handle both, it is important.
Yeah.
Although one thing I do have to ask just off the back of that
Mhm.
is, so
Yeah.
you started out in Twitch, but then went over to TikTok, and I think it must be very much a kind of American thing, because TikTok seems to just be, with the American audience, the more preferred platform in some ways. Anyway, maybe just like the kind of realm
Mhm.
where they're in, but like how do you like compare the two? So like TikTok seemed to be where you surpassed 1,000 followers through your content, and then you went live there, and that seemed to kind of like just take off a lot more, and say arguably. So how do you compare the two? Like, do you prefer TikTok, do you prefer Twitch, or do you see like the advantages with both? Because obviously at the end of the day, no matter what platform you're on, you're doing the same thing, but it's very much down to what your viewers are more used to watching you
Right.
on, for example. Like, so what would be the kind of your comparisons?
Yeah. So I gotta say, like, I definitely feel like Twitch is cleaner.
Uh huh.
I feel like it's cleaner. It's very easy to use. There's not all these bugs that have to work through. And I mean, that's like the technical side that like me, you, and other streamers would understand.
Yeah.
Because like there's a lot that goes on behind the camera
Hey, this guy gets it. This
that
guy gets it.
behind the camera that we've got to do.
Yeah.
I will say this though, if it wasn't for me moving over to TikTok, and by no means am I a big streamer at all. I wouldn't have the following because to be completely honest, and like I very much lucked into, I stumbled in to gaining a following.
Hmm.
And it's a funny story because, and it's literally my favorite story to tell. It's the one, it is the night that kind of found me. It was
Okay.
one night I was playing Mario 64 on TikTok. Just it was a random night. I must have had like five five people in there. And they were my five regulars. This is my cousin Mikey, one of my other cousins, and then two other two to three other people who followed me from watching the retro games from months before.
Yeah.
Um, all of a sudden, you see in the upper right corner the number goes from 5, and then it was like at 50,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, why? So then my chat just starts getting spammed, and at that point I'm like, I didn't have any moderators. I didn't know what a moderator was, so I'm getting all freaking nervous, and there all these people are talking about, and by these people I'm gonna tell you who these people
Of
are.
course, yeah, go for it.
um
Name drop, shout
well,
out anybody
I'm
you
gonna
want,
name my
man.
names, bro.
100%,
No,
man.
but
Do it.
um all these people are talking about, oh, this guy is actually playing Mario 64 to play Mario 64. And I'm like, and I'm talking to the chat, I'm like, is there a different way to play it? Because at the time I didn't know what speedrunning was. I had no idea what it was. Never even looked at speedrun.com, anything like that. So like it ended up being a quote unquote raid
Yeah.
by a handful of people from Hawk's community. And that's where I met a lot of the people that I'm super close to now. So like Jerica, Marissa, Moose, Johnny Bones, Dr. Onieka, like great, amazing people who still to today, like I'm mad close with, like
I love that.
legitimately ride or die, and they've stuck with me this whole time. And I can go into a million stories about them, but like it's without that happening and me stumbling and lucking into that night, I don't meet 8/10 of the people that I know now,
Yeah.
and through that we've built what we've built, which is an amazing community where, we try to be one of the safest places possible on streaming, and it's full of fun, it's full of riz, full of just love, and very mid gameplay, but it's cool,
But see, that's the good thing about it, though, is that like like, I mean, I never knew that about you starting off just playing Mario 64, but that makes me laugh particularly because whenever you do whenever you start seeing people playing Mario 64 on TikTok and you're scrolling through, it's all speedrunners. It's all speedrunners, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden
I know.
there's this one diamond in the rough just playing the game because they haven't played it in a while. It's just like, oh, I love this game. Let's just play this, and then it's like, what? It's like, dude, do a bomb clip, do a fucking texture setup, this, that, and the other. It's like,
Yeah,
dude, what the
dude.
fuck are all these things? Are you talking? What are you talking? These are just words. Um,
No.
and it's so like, and the fact that and you look out, like what you say, it all it takes is just one stream, one of anything for the right people or group of people to see you, and then it just literally becomes like it does become just something amazing. Like people just seeing, just like, oh, here, I like this guy, I want to come back. That's amazing. Like it's like I said, shout out to Hawk for doing that, man, and like helping you
It wasn't, and
in that
that's the
one
thing.
day,
Like,
man. That's incredible.
and again, like I don't even know how it came about because, like, I think Hawk popped in once, like all of his people shared it to him. But yeah, like I think it was a very like I still to this day have no idea how, why they came in, but they came in.
Yeah.
And then like 2 days later, I joined like Hawk's Discord because I finally figured out what a Discord was, and like they're like, "Oh my God, the Luigi kid's here," blah blah blah, and I'm like, I was like, "Hi," So yeah, to this day, I still have no idea how they found me, why they stuck around for the hour of very low tier Mario 64 gameplay. I mean, I threw Bowser like 20 times in Red Sea that night, and that's the easiest one to throw. But, it's
But
brother, it's crazy.
yeah,
It's
man,
crazy.
just goes to show. Like, I mean, that's the gameplay doesn't necessarily need to be. like enthralling. I think it's the
No.
person who is playing the game. That's what people stay for. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
people want to go into a lot. Well, a lot of people want to go into streams, except for like those diehard fans of speedrunning, you know. But
Mm.
I, I could talk about them all night, but I'm not going to. But like people are on these platforms to they want to be entertained. They want to like come into a stream where they see somebody who is like, you know, engaging, they're entertaining, and like sometimes like bad to mid gameplay can actually be entertaining in itself because it's just like they see it in like different people doing it in different like different streams, and then it's just kind of like this guy's learning, he can do it, he can do it. It becomes like just like a sort of like a I believe in you kind of thing, and like I think it's such a sick thing. Like I absolutely love it. So this actually leads me very neatly onto my next question for you. You know,
Mm.
because Mario 64, that's like, you know, amongst others, that's how I know you. I
Mhm.
seen you playing. I think I seen your name come up within like, you know, the realm of this within a lot of like streamers playing Mario 64. I seen your name come up, and like obviously we've done a bit of co-op before in the
Yeah.
past. So Mario 64 again is how I know you. I've seen you doing it. But for me personally, one thing about you running Mario 64 is like your focus on the category extensions. And like the way I
There's
see it,
so
I'm
much
just like, you know, this motherfucker is after
so
my
much
own heart here
better.
because it's like that's what I always do as well. And I'm just like, yes, this guy, he knows it. He gets it. Like this guy fucking gets it. Like, and it's I love that, you know, like the you know, other
They're
aspects of the
so much
game.
better, bro.
Right, 100%, 100%.
Like
Um
I'll leave the 120s to like Beats and like Bryce
all
and
right, man.
like Logan. Like I've done 2 to 3 120s in my life. They're way over 3 hours, and like by the end of them, I'm just completely spent, bro.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
just like me. You put me in front of a 31 star or a 50 star, and I am vibing, bro.
That's it,
You
man.
know?
That's it. It's that nice little sweet spot, isn't it? Like, but that all being said, you know, your content does go way deeper than just playing Mario 64. Like, as we've touched on at the start of this interview, but another thing would be you dipped your toes into the waters of podcasting yourself um
Yeah.
in very recent years. You hosted a wrestling podcast, Two Up, Two Down. So
Mhm.
what can you tell us about this? So, you know, your and what's your like background of being a fan of wrestling and what led to the podcast?
Sure. So I mean, just with like the background of wrestling, it's while I watched. I grew up watching the Attitude Era. I grew up watching The Rock disrespect everyone and their mother. I grew up in the era where if you did a crotch chop at school, you get detention. Like that was like what we that's what we grew up in, bro.
Yes.
Um, so like
Phenomenal.
I it's one of those things that like I watched, I stuck with it, and like to this day I use it in like even dating to the I know we're going to get into tournaments and stuff that later, but like
Mm,
even creating that content with Logan leading up to our first round matchup of the Freeman Shotgun
yeah.
tournament, like creating those little promos prior to that, like it's awesome. Podcast wise though, because I don't want to ramble too
No,
much.
no, no, ramble away, man. That's what this is for. Like this is the stage is yours, man. Ramble away, please.
Yeah. So, podcasting wise, like I told you, I had a sports talk radio show in college.
Mm-hmm.
And then, after that, it's still something I wanted to do after college. So, like, I started podcasting a little bit here and there, then shut it down. Turned it up, shut it down, just because, like, different instances. And then, like, the pandemic hit over here in the US, and I did a couple episodes of like wellness and self betterment stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That lasted 3 to 4 episodes. Then I had my twin boys, so then of course that had to shut down too.
Oh, but surely that must have
And
been
then
worth it, though. You know.
oh bro, I mean
Yeah.
my kids, my two boys, they're 4 years old now. I wouldn't trade them or
Yeah.
anything for the world. They're nuts. but they are everything to me.
I love that, dude. That's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, so with that, we um in that I had to kind of stop that, put it down, and then when I eventually started doing this again, it was a the two up two down was like kind of like a distant cousin to what we're kind of doing.
Yeah.
And I started that, I put an episode out there, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of like it's something I want to still do, and something like the funny thing is like another thing that people don't know is all of us as streamers have side projects. We have these projects when it comes to our brand that
Yes.
we're constantly working on. Like Newman Beatbox is a perfect example. That guy is constantly in his chat in his streams talking about I'm working on this project, I'm working on that project, and I'm like, and I give that guy so much credit because he's just you could tell the guy just is a workhorse and he's just such a genuine dude. And like I know you've got your side stuff and your behind the camera things that you love to do.
For sure, man.
Um so for me, it is like the podcasting is one of those things in the future that I'm like working on slowly in the side, but because that's kind of what you said earlier. It's staying true to yourself. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
That's what I went to school for was being a broadcaster. So that's something I don't have any like set concrete plans of when that is going to arise or anything like that. But it's definitely on the distant horizon
Yeah.
to
For sure.
return. It's just a matter of me like scheduling it, making sure I have the time for it because what I don't want to do is start and stop again. I kind of wanted to make it the consistent thing, which is, with you, and it's like I'm envious of you because you are, aside from an absolute stallion,
Are
just
you? Are you?
um, had to throw that in. But no, like you really have created something amazing with this podcast, dude.
Thank
Like
you, man.
you, yeah, like, and I was just lucky enough that you had me on, and like, it's catching, it's on fire, and it's doing wonderfully. Um, so yeah, it's something in the distant future. It's one of my side projects that I want to do. I just need to find the scheduling for it, and then eventually you know, nailing down the actual genre
Yeah,
of it as well.
for sure. First of all, I appreciate the kind words. That honestly, like, it means a lot for somebody to say that. For sure, it really, really does. Like, just as it's very, very high compliment. So, in terms of your
Give me 1 second, babe.
we've got a bit
Andy,
of a
sorry.
no, you're good. A bit of a special guest here. Just one of the
They
boys.
usually pop in from time to
Ah,
time.
it's totally cool, man. Totally cool. So in terms of your future planning for podcasting, is this
Mhm.
gonna be a revival of Two Up, Two Down, or is this something new that you have cooking in with like a group of people from your college days, or what is the general what can you give us like a general outline of what to expect?
Sure. So I think it's going to be mainly. It might. I'm juggling two things. It's either going to be a revival of Two Up, Two Down,
Hmm.
or it's going to go into the gaming type category, but of the focus of the actual games being played.
Okay,
You know,
nice.
so something of that sort.
Yeah. No, well, do you know what, man? I'm looking forward to seeing that come to fruition
Yeah,
because
I appreciate it, buddy.
there's a ton of potential for there. And like I know there is this sort of like meme of like just white dudes in their 20s and 30s just getting into podcasting and stuff, but like there's so much like untapped potential and like for
Mhm.
yourself it's so relevant because of your past with your you've trained to be a broadcaster, you've done your radio show and TV show, things like that. So like essentially like what you're doing right now with your streaming is kind of like a um it's just you living out your passion just in a different kind of way, and like it's allowing
Yeah,
you to kind of it's allowing the doors to be open to other types of things. So that's incredible. Like I absolutely love that.
yeah.
But I have to
Thank
ask
you,
as
man.
well, just on the side of media, talk to us about your TV show in college and your radio show. Like obviously, this would have stemmed from your background in like broadcasting. What was like the premise of them, and what can you tell us about them?
Sure. So, in college, what it was the premise of it was like a night talk show. So it was like it was like a Jimmy Fallon type show where I would, be at a desk. I would have like a blazer on, and like I would have people on, interview them. There would be skits like Saturday Night Live, things of that
Yeah,
sort. And like it's one of the things like it's a feather in my cap from the past that like I really dug my feet into and really like I really like put everything to it. Like I ran like because in college like I was busy, man.
yeah.
I played rugby. I went to class most of the time. I had two jobs on campus and then I had the radio show. I was broadcasting games for the athletics department and I
Mm,
was also running that show. Um the cool thing was that season, like I had a season where I went 15 straight weeks of, you know, putting a TV show out there. It was only once a week, but still,
hmm.
like, you know the work you had to put into a show.
Yeah, for sure.
You've got to find the guests, you got to talk to the guests, you got to prep the guests, you got to like do all these things. Um, I was able to do that for 15 straight weeks, and it was to that point, to that time at least, it was the one show that was able to do that, have a new episode for, um, you know, 4 months straight.
Yeah,
So, um, it was great. It was great, and it kind of like bred me for now,
yeah.
just being in front of the camera and like kind of shooting the shit, talking. So yeah,
So
but yeah.
on the flip side of that, then
Mhm.
haven't been in that situation where you're in like a talk show thing, interviewing
Yeah.
people. What's it like being on the other side of that for this?
No, it's cool, man. Like anytime, like honestly, like even when it comes to like this, even like job interviews, like people like all running up to this week is like, "Oh, you nervous to talk to Andy?" I'm like, "No, I talk to that dude every day. Like that's my
Yeah.
boy." Like it's literally, I'm like I'm talking, like we're having a conversation, man. Like
Yeah.
it's awesome.
That is all this is supposed to be. It's just like two
Yeah,
guys just shooting the shit. And like we're both used to being in the situation where we're behind the camera. We're like, talking to people. We're just sitting alone in our rooms just doing this. Like we have like an
yeah,
audience,
no,
which is amazing. But when you break it down, and like that's essentially just what we're doing right now. And it's like
yeah,
the fact that people tune into this alone, and the fact that, people like yourself are willing to come on, it's just incredible for me. So yeah, again, thank you for that, man.
of
Um
course.
so and I couldn't have you on here and not ask you about the Diddy Kong racing tournament that you have set up that is imminent now. It must be starting within this or the next couple of weeks. So, and I have to say, the
Sure.
organization behind this, the fact that you've pulled this together with some great names, phenomenal. I'm very, very excited to see how this shapes out. I'm very glad to be a part of it as well, which is going to be amazing. So tell us about this. Give us a bit of background into this. How did it come about? What was your inspiration? And is this something that you want to strive for it to be an annual thing?
Yeah. So I mean, the really cool thing was, and Sir T kind of said it. It's been like the year of the tournament. Like
Yeah,
obviously it
big.
kicked off with Logan being the patriarch of this whole tournament thing with, the 16 star beginners tournament, which I was a part of. And then eventually Freeman Gaming, he ran the Shotgun 70 tournament. And now it's kind of like we're next up because we start 4 days from now, you
Yeah.
know, which is awesome. So honestly, the what was behind it was, I was a part of the, I was part of Logan's tournament, and you know, grinding out 16 star like over and over and over again. But while this was happening, watching Logan be the race director, so like
Yeah.
making content for it, running the Discord, the scheduling, things of that sort. And while that was going on, it's like obviously I'm part of the tournament, but the other like the creative brain of mine was like maybe once I'm more established, I can put something similar together in a game that I'm passionate about,
Hmm.
which is kind of like where the whole like Diddy Kong Racing thing came along because A, it's retro gaming, it's from the past. B, it is a racing game as opposed to a um, pure Mario game.
Yeah,
Um, and C, it's a game that I it was one of my favorites growing up. I loved it way more than Mario Kart 64. And the nerdy gamer side of me was always like, this game just never got the love it deserved.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%
So,
agree.
so I was like, okay, let's see if I can put some. Yeah, I like put it to the side on the like, okay, this is gonna be a side project. Let's see if I can get it off the ground. Let's see if I can get some exposure in the next couple of months. And then eventually, Freeman's thing came out. And then while Freeman's thing came out, like the shotgun tournament like started, and when that was picking up, I was like, okay, I think we can, I think we can make something cook here. I think we could cook. Um, and so eventually, like I made a promo about it, put it on my TikTok. I'm like, yo, this is what we're gonna be doing in November. Um, Whoever's interested, let me know. And what I feel like is unique about this tournament compared to the two tournaments prior to me, and I before I get into that, what I want to say is like mine doesn't happen without their two happening because like both of them ran phenomenal tournaments. Um, they were both phenomenal race directors, and like if the brainchild doesn't happen, the third child never shows up. You know what I mean?
Very true. Very
So
true.
So I want to give Freeman and Logan their credit for being able to, show the way, lead the way. You know, where the other portion of this where I wanted to make sure that it was different was I wanted to make sure that viewers were also a part of it. So
Hmm.
if they were interested, they could be in it. So like there's three or four like non-streamers that are in this tournament, which I think is absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely. 100%.
Because I'm definitely one of those people, and I say it to my community and in my streams all the times. It is I am always going to be a streamer
Yeah.
and a content creator who's in forever in debt to my people because they have given me 100 to 150 times more than I could ever give them.
Yeah.
And like, if this like small thing, if it's like, yo, here's an opportunity for y'all to play with us, like I think that's cool as shit, bro.
100%.
That
Like, yeah, it's a nice way to give back for sure. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, when you're like a streamer at like our level, without the people who view us, without the people who will come back every day without fail, because not because of what we're playing, but because they're here to watch us. We wouldn't have like this. We wouldn't have what we have as a result.
no,
And it's like it's a life changing thing as a streamer to sort of make these connections, to be like a huge part of something thanks to the people who are watching. Like it's an incredibly special thing, and as viewers, like I'm not sure how much people the viewers understand it, to be quite honest with you. And like that's not to say that's a bad thing, because they're watching it, they might get whatever they get out of it. Again, I can see, because I've been on both sides as a viewer, been watching people and been like, this is amazing, this is a nice escape for me for an hour, 2 hours a day, great. But when you're like on the other side of that, um it does, like I say, it goes two ways. Like it's, these people are coming to see you. It's like kind of a, oh my god, these people are like, what is it about me that people are coming to sort of, like what. And yeah, like it is just such an amazing thing. Like it is the viewers who make the communities. Obviously there is the as streamers we do, there is a lot of effort on our parts, but like it is made easier by the people who come back, the ones who welcome in all of the new people, the ones who like do make this a safe space, just the one. And yeah, like it just really does help build like a incredible community. And it's nice to give back to the people viewing as well, for sure. Like they do, wouldn't be the same without them regardless. So, and obviously it's not something for everybody, so it's like for them to be able to get involved in it, be like, could be like a massive like dream come true for a lot of people, for real.
Yeah. And I mean, just off that, like, and I'm sure you kind of hit it on the head. It's like, this is me streaming and me, like, being a part of this is it's the end of my day. It's a stream at the end of the day when everything else is done. It's like when in real life is all done, I get to come on, I get to play a game I like and hang out with some amazing people. I get to like it's like think of it like you're going to like a virtual bar and having a drink with your boys or and
Yeah.
your girls. It's like that's what my end of day is, and I look forward to it every single day. And for a lot of days, it's one of those things where it's like I had a really crappy day, but
For
I
sure.
know this is the constant at the end of my day is I get to log in, I get to go live, and I get to ask everyone else how their day was, make
Yeah,
sure my people are okay, and then, depending on who's in there, like just get to have regular conversation about anything. And you know
absolutely.
what?
Yeah.
It's the one constant that I look forward to on a daily basis.
Oh, absolutely. Like, so on that, do you ever find that there are days you might have had like a shitty day, or you just kind of thinking, I want to stream, but I don't know what to stream. Do you ever do like I've got into a bad habit of calling them throwaway streams, because but there, no stream's a throwaway stream. But where you just like play a game that you don't have to concentrate on, solely just so you can have something on in the background while you're talking to your chat, because that's really the reason that you want to stream, is to talk to the chat. Do you ever have that, and like what would be your game to do that with if you do?
Um, it's tough because like recently, at least, like recently I've like incorporated TCG um simulator, TCG store
It's
simulator,
so
which has been nice.
fucking good, isn't it?
Dude, it's
So good.
I'm like hooked. And like me, like my community and I have like names for our people, like the customers now. Like we have like yeah, one of the guys' names is Keenan. Another one's name, there's the blonde guy. His name is like Timu Kid Rock. Like it's wild. But it's really tough because it's like I'm known like now at least. It's like I do speedrunning
Hmm.
and I do Granny. So
Yes.
it's like neither of those games are background games,
No, of course not.
but
Of course.
it's not just because like you're trying to escape Granny who's trying to hit you with a freaking bloody bat and speedrunning. What ends up happening is on the bad days, um my gameplay is just absolute in the trash, and which is fine. I play it off like I don't care, but bro, I hate to lose. I hate to,
Sure. I get that.
um, but no, and like to the point though, like on the bad in real life days or the not so hot ones, I still feel like I owe it to my people to show up, you
Hmm.
know.
Get that.
And although I have the most understanding crew in the world, I just feel like I need to be there at the end of the day for them too, because I'm sure you have your like your diehards and your people who have like hit you up saying, "Hey, I just want to let you know your stream really made a difference today.
Hmm.
I
For
really needed
sure.
you." And
Yeah.
it's happened to me on multiple occasions. And that's not me patting myself on the back.
No,
It's
but
me like being grateful for having such amazing people in
yeah.
my life. Um, but to that point, and it's funny you mentioned that, because like one of the ways that I found you, and like I came across AndyGames, and this is the first exposure I had to you whatsoever. And you put up a post. It wasn't even of your face. It
Mm-hmm.
was it was just a typed out message in TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was back in May, and
Yeah.
how you said you switched jobs, job schedules, and like you were struggling with the stream. And at that point, like in May at least, May is a totally different time from now. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to my streaming, because early on when I was like picking up steam and like obviously, um, all these amazing people came into my life. Like I thought I had to be on 7 days a week, and I was like boom, 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 like just churning out days like it was nothing, like
Yeah.
no days off. And like people would ask me like, why aren't you taking days off? And I'm like, I thought this is what I was supposed to be doing. So like your message back in May, um, kind of showed me, okay, there's an actual human element to this. And like, although we need to take care of our people, we kind of need to take care of ourselves too.
Yeah. 100%.
And so on, like, there have been days where like the those two little rascals that just ran in here won't go to bed till freaking 9 o'clock, and like, I my people know like if I'm not on by 7 p.m. our time, something's going on, because I'll
Yeah.
I'll start getting messages like, "Where are you?" They'll start throwing gifts in there of like people going like with the clock, like looking for me. But no, they'll it's like they're okay with me taking a day, and
Yes.
I'm learning that it's okay for me to take a day.
Yeah.
You know,
100%. It
so you
is. Oh,
so
sorry.
to your credit, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Like to
No.
your credit, that was like the first exposure was like you, not even I didn't even know you.
Mhm.
You already taught me something, which was there is a human element to this, and it's okay.
I
You
appreciate you
know,
saying that, man. I
no,
appreciate that.
no, but it's the truth, bro. Like I
Yeah.
wouldn't just like listen. I call you an Adonis every day, but like if it wasn't for that, I would be churning out 7 days a week still, and probably lost my mind by now.
Hmm.
So like I did want to share that with you because like it is the truth. Like
Yeah.
that was a major part of my journey so far with this whole thing.
Hmm. I appreciate you saying that. One thing I've learned, particularly on that topic, is streaming is an incredibly transitional thing in terms of the content you put out and your own personal development. So to give you context into that post that you saw, so uh well, to go back to the start of the year, I was on an extended leave of absence from my job due to health reasons, and I just got a new computer at the time. I was streaming every fucking day, twice a day. It was great. Streaming then became my full time job while I was off. I wouldn't even say it was a full time job. It became my full time gig.
Mhm.
That was great. But obviously, that was, in the grand scheme of things, that was short lived. And then I went back to work at the end of February. And then streaming was kind of, it was back to its normal schedule. That was fine. But I wasn't doing much in work. Then it got to a point where my work schedule changed for about 10 weeks. I was working 4 days a week, but I was working 11 hours a day. So wasn't streaming. I was streaming Sundays. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday was my stream schedule. And it just fucking tanked at that point.
Yeah.
And like, no, you should never rely on the numbers. You should never pay too much
No,
heed to the
never.
numbers. But when you spend so much time away and it changes, it kind of does, it fucks with your head a bit, like, to be honest. And that's what happened.
Oh,
So I got to the point
dude, it does.
around, like, I was just like, and obviously, like, no, the OGs were coming in every day, and it was like, okay, these are the people that matter. These are how I got my start, how I have been able to continue this on. But it got to the point I was kind of like, I can't keep up with what I was doing right now because of too much going on. It's, you it goes back to what you said, as much as you feel like you have to look after your people, ultimately you have to look after yourself first. Because, and this is something I always say to people as well, it's not like, if you're not at your best, if there is this one iota of something wrong, the people who really know you as your viewers and you as a streamer will be able to see right through it. They will know,
Always.
and they will be the first
The
to be
OGs
like,
know.
"What's wrong?" 100%, 100%. They'll be the first. They'll be the first to point it out to you as well. They'll literally just be like, "You were not yourself tonight. What's wrong?"
Yeah.
And then
They'll they'll text me during stream. They'll
yeah,
flat out like message me during stream. They're like, "What's going on? What happened today?"
yeah, 100%, 100%. And like, it's it's no secret that people in streaming, people do come and go. Your community is always ever changing. It's always with the same people, the same main people and all,
Mhm.
but obviously a lot of people will come and go. They'll come in, be like, oh, it's a nice community, things get in the way, and then obviously things change. That's fine.
Yeah.
Multiple reasons, right? But when you do have people coming out to you and being like, yeah, you're not yourself, that's when you kind of realize, shit, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not.
Mhm.
Maybe there are things I do need to change, whether that be because like it is something that is kind of like as enjoyable as it is. There are times when it's like kind of you do question why you do it. It's like, am I still doing
Yeah.
this for myself, or am I doing this because I feel like it's expected of me? And to
Hmm.
go back to your point about you feeling like you need to be there at a specific time on a specific day, it was Craigie Boy, Dead Guy Drives. Whenever I spoke to him, he said something very similar. So he was talking about his stream schedule, and he tries to live by that.
Yeah.
Because the way he looks at it, so his first stream day of the week is a Wednesday, and he's had people come to him before telling him that I look forward to your streams because XYZ, whether it's like an escape, whether it's this, or it's just part of the routine.
Yeah. Of course.
And it's the sort of thing, it's like he does not like to miss out on those streams because it's his way of like giving back to somebody who a stream, what is it for, who a stream means a lot to. And
Yep.
it's a sort of, it's an incredible sort of thing. Like it's like I say, it's a constant transitional, constant learning period as a streamer because
Oh, it
we
is.
are like constantly, you're meeting new people. And the most beautiful thing I find about streaming is that every single person who we meet all comes from their own background. They all have their own sort of thing going on, their own story, but they're all kind of brought together by this one
Yep.
common interest. And
Yep.
that's such a beautiful thing. That is such
Oh,
a
it's
beautiful
awesome, bro.
thing, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, and honestly, like to that point, it's like I without it, I don't, outside of the people at work, it's like I don't know the people I talk to the most, you
Yeah.
know? Like we all have our in real life friends, but like, even this morning we were talking about it like I don't even know what time it is, but we were talking about it before like we were just shooting the shit with Giz and Dags like this morning. Like, and again, like it's my this morning, but it's like
Yeah, of
international.
course.
Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, but we're all just like shooting the shit over Giz going to get food in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Like,
It's just it's so yeah, and like that exactly. It rings true. It doesn't matter who you're watching. Like you, I mean, for me personally, so I logged that. So this morning or this afternoon, I logged onto my computer. I had some like admin bits and pieces that I needed to do. I just got my wedding photos back. I wanted to kind of get them saved and sent off to people. Did I do that? No, because I was too busy watching Giz eating a kebab, and it was
yeah, no,
fucking hilarious. And
so
there was
funny.
so many of us in this, and we were just all chatting, like Dini says, we were shooting the shit, and it was just so much fun. And like, of course, I didn't get anything done, but I still had a good time. And it's like, but every single person in that little space, in that Discord call, was all different. Every single person was different. We were all from a different background, but one thing we had in common: watching somebody we find entertaining, somebody who we feel we can call a friend, just being himself. And like,
Yeah.
what more could you want as both a streamer and a viewer, in my honest opinion, you know?
Yeah, and with Giz, I don't know him without that 16-star tournament.
For
You know what I
sure,
mean? Like
yeah.
because like that's the first introduction I had. I knew in the background that like Giz played Goldeneye, and I
Mhm.
just knew that because Logan told me, but like I didn't know like Giz was this freaking hilarious like wild dude that made up Giz Owlus, which is a strat that's like longer than the regular strat. You know what I mean? Like
But
I love
yeah, and
that.
he wears that like with such pride as well. Like it's just such a,
Yeah.
it's just such a, like being in this sort of realm where we're all streamers of like the same size, we all know the same people. Like that to me is what makes it like such a safe space, because
Mhm.
you know that you're always going to be in good company, and
Yep.
that there anybody who does come in who's new, you know that they're coming into a good place too. And like it's just sort of like
That's,
what could be actually wrong with that? Nothing, I would say.
no.
Yeah.
And like and that's the beauty of like us kind of being the head of the table per source. It's like we're making sure that our
Once to the sky. End of the
once this guy
table.
I
Sorry, I
I
just
knew
had to
you were
throw
gonna
that
catch
out
that. Let's
there.
go. That's my boy. I love it. But no, that's the beauty of us kind of like spearheading our ship is
Yeah.
like we can make sure it's that safe space for everybody. Because I mean, I know we've both probably encountered people or communities that aren't so safe or kind of more toxic than others,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
it's our, that's the beauty of it is, we all are, we choose where we want to go, we choose who we want to be around, and I mean, I think I could speak for both of us. It's like we are two of those people that we want people to be around us because they know that they're safe, you know?
Oh, for sure. For sure. That's it. Like, and it's like I say, so it kind of goes back to the fact that we're all around like familiar people. It's a safe space. And like it does get to a point where you are like around these people so much, it becomes routine. It just becomes routine.
Oh, it does.
Apologies.
Oh,
Ah,
you're good, man.
thankfully, I'm gonna have to edit this out here. Thankfully, that happened when it did, and I just finished the sentence because fucking TikTok did this to me fucking again. The last one I did on TikTok, I got that stupid fucking inactivity thing, and it's like I'll slide this puzzle piece.
What
Ugh.
do I need to be moving my head more?
No, no,
Like
it
you want
was.
me to
I
be
think, I think, I need to fix like the settings on it, but
more right.
at least, this isn't a first where I kind of have to pause everything and kind of move on, because
Yeah, no,
it did
you're good.
whenever one of the last interviews I did, the same thing happened, but like it's thankfully what happened when it did, so it's just a very easy edit.
I got you. Oh,
um so yeah, just moving on again. So
yeah.
this is a question that I ask every single person I interview, so I'm sure you know which one is. I'm sure you know what's coming right now. So got to keep up the tradition. You yourself, you are a busy man, between being a streamer, a father, doing the work you do. Outside of that, what are your hobbies and interests? What does LuigiDini like to get up to on a day off? We probably covered a lot of this before prior,
And we
but
did. We
what,
very much did.
but like,
But
is there anything about you like that the people don't even know? Like something about you that you just like to, just get up to. The people don't know about it. What does a day off in the life of Dini look like?
I mean, outside of being a father, because like it's literally my DNA in real life is being dad. My 4-year-olds are my world. They're my
Mm-hmm.
life. They wake me up in the morning. They drive me crazy. They put the smile on my face. Um, you know, um, I'm their soccer coach. It's just being dad is who I am. But like when you strip that portion away, the video gaming, the streaming, all of that's there. I'm a very like low key, like to do very basic things like have a cigar outside, grill food. Um, I love to write. Um, I like just thoughts, things of that sort.
Yeah.
Nothing of substance. Like, yeah, by no means am I an author, a poet, or anything like that.
Yeah,
No,
because I
that's
was
not.
just about to say, like, should we
Oh,
expect to
sir.
find you on Book Talk anytime soon? Because
Yeah,
I know a lot of people, especially in my community and others close by, who are big fans of Book Talk. So,
yeah. You won't see me there. You will not see your boy there. But no, but yeah, I like to write and I love to cook. I love making different sauces. The 100% Italian in me is just like,
love
you
that.
know,
Wow, you got the
uh,
you got the actual hand
yeah,
gesture in as well for those listening.
yes, yeah.
The
It's
hand
not
gesture
it's
was
not just
there.
an emo. It's a real thing.
That's it. It's a way of life, guys. Remember that.
But yeah, no, man, like, aside from, like, all the stuff and, like, it's just I'm very low key, bro. I'm very, like, it's a cigar, I write a little bit, I love to cook when I have the moment. Um, that's it. That's that, man.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could tell you, like, I watch wrestling, I love my sports, all my teams are trash here in New York, like, my New York sports teams are absolute garbage, but, like, I root for them anyway.
No, for sure. But you
But
know what?
yeah, but
That's
not
great
that's
though.
that's Dini. That's me, bro. That's me.
See, that's why I love asking people that kind of question, because like even though everybody knows that question's coming up, people get incredibly like, this is me. And like people generally
Yeah,
get
no,
they don't know how to answer it. They don't know how to like I can give you an example. So like the guys I interviewed last week, high scores, high stakes,
yeah.
three guys in their mid to late 30s, all dads of young kids. Unanimously they were like, well fuck, we don't remember life before kids. And but like it's
No.
one of the things that just shapes your life.
Before
It
kids, I was a
changes.
totally different dude.
It
Yeah,
just
before
yeah.
kids, like, I was a marathon runner. I
Shit.
was, like so, like, I'm trying to dip my toe back in that now, but bro, being a dad takes so
Mm-hmm.
much time. And,
No, for
like, again,
sure.
would not change it for anything in the world. I would not the grueling, like, marathon training schedule that I used to do, I would like, I am so happy I'm a dad compared to that, you
I get
know?
that, man. I feel that, man. Honestly, like I have no kids myself, but like I'm an uncle to two, three, four, six.
It's
I hope I
awesome.
got that right. No, five. Five. I got it wrong. Fuck. An uncle to five, and all of similar ages. So I kind of get you, just without obviously,
Oh, yeah.
just without the challenging aspects. Like I get the fun side of all that. But
Oh, yeah,
but
you
I
get to be the fun uncle and then send them home with a bunch of sugar in their bodies, and it ain't your problem, bro, you know?
exactly, exactly. And I'm not gonna lie, my wife is gonna fucking kill me for getting that wrong. It's like
She
okay,
already put something yeah,
I
don't worry.
believe so. Yes, I see. um, but yeah, like it's one of those things. Like your family. Then when you have kids, like your family does come like at the forefront of everything, and you're like
Yes.
they become your life. They become like their interests become your interests. Like you say, your kid's soccer coach, and like
Yeah.
that's just the sort of thing where it's like, you know, that responsibility does always it falls on a dad. It falls on a dad, but you happen to be the dad it falls on. And you know what? Amazing. Like, and I'm
That was me.
sure that is something that, however that may have came about, it's something that now it's like written into you. It's like, well, I couldn't not do this.
Yeah, I'll tell you, being a soccer coach of 4-year-olds, it's legitimately like wrangling cats. It's it's literally wrangling cats for 45 minutes and making sure nobody gets hurt and that they barely play soccer. Because there's kids like picking up the ball, throwing the ball in the goal, and
Oh,
then like,
dude.
you gotta like cheer them on to keep the self-esteem up. Even though I'm like,
There's
even though I'm like,
yeah, there's
even though
no
I'm very
telling them
much
no.
no, because I'm very much of the school of okay, well, I'm not a participation trophy type guy
I got
just
that.
because I'm from the old school, dude. It's like, but I'm by no means. By no means am I like, okay, if we didn't win, you both stink. You're not getting dessert on the way home. I'm not that dude. I'm not that guy.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
at the same time, like if we lose like 15-0, like I'm not the happiest person.
No, for
you
sure.
know?
It's like, yeah, there's levels to it. It's like, you know what? I can tell you put in a good shift today. You can get McDonald's on the way home. But then
Yeah,
it's like, no, that game sucked. We have McDonald's at home today.
yeah, like you guys don't get that. And
No,
yes,
for sure.
to the international crowd, it is football, not soccer, like
Yeah,
Chloe
I know
said.
and I know I've like
My
been saying
apologies,
soccer.
everyone on overseas.
Nah, dude. Like this is why I've been saying soccer as well because I want to accommodate my guest on here today.
I appreciate
On
that.
like on that side of things though, like I believe you're a qualified personal trainer. Am I correct in saying?
I am. That is the in real life portion of me. And it's
Mm.
funny because until I want to say about 2 weeks ago, one of your last guests, Mr. Freeman Gaming,
Hmm.
he didn't know that, which a lot of people didn't because I honestly I don't talk about it because it's not part of like my identity on here,
Yeah.
like when I think about fitness and TikTok and things, I think of Mr. Creatine himself. I think of Freeman. So it's like, I not a lot of people know that I'm a certified personal trainer. I coach at a local Orange Theory. Um, that's my job. Like that's
Yeah.
my in real life job. So like it's great because it's like I am with what's called I am with clients every day, I am
Yeah.
with members every day, and like I'm in front of their face and like I'm building relationships kind of like we are
Yeah.
every day when it comes to here. But yeah, that is my in real life job.
Yeah. That's so sick, dude. And like, I mean, you did like allude to this in what you said. Like it's you being a PT has nothing to do with you being a streamer. So like, do
Oh,
you know what? And I absolutely love and respect the fact that you do find those boundaries. You do are you're happy like this is my life, but this is
yes,
where this stays. You have that line, Drew, and that's like
I do.
that's important to do because for one, on the side of your content, it's not taking away anything about who you actually are.
Hmm.
Your job, it's less of your personality than your actual personality is and who you present yourself as
Yep.
on a camera. So like for example, the LuigiDini that everybody sees playing Mario 64, playing Granny, playing Mario RPG, just streaming whatever it may be, is the same LuigiDini that your clients are seeing on a day-to-day basis. It's
Oh
just they're
yeah,
two separate worlds. And
totally.
I do sometimes think that that is a struggle to find the line between those two things because I personally am a massive believer of being true to yourself when you're streaming.
Yep,
Let people
absolutely.
know as much as you want to, as much as you're comfortable with. Like be
Yep.
yourself in front of the people who are watching you, because that's what if that's what people are there for. They're gonna see right through any bullshit. Like if you are not being yourself, they're gonna see that. So I always think it's important be yourself. To whatever degree. When, of course, people do like. I am incredibly guilty of this. I'm myself on the camera, but there are some aspects that are amplified here, lowered down there, tweaked a
Oh,
little bit
and
here
it
and
has
there.
to be. It
Like
has to be.
you have seen me in your chat, in Doc Rocky's chat, in other people's chats, just being like, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, whoa. And then it's a completely
We're all
different
just
thing.
trying to find our way around the filters, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. It's so for anybody who has never watched a TikTok live stream, there is a incredible, like, inexplicable filter behind TikTok and its censorship. And I have taken it upon myself in a lot of people's chats, and people can attest to this, to be as cursed as possible whilst
Such
getting
a
around
stuff.
the filter. And it is a challenge worth undertaking, and I implore everybody to give that a go because it's hilarious. The things that TikTok is prides itself, TikTok censorship prides itself in being so AI based. Yet, if you change the K in fuck to a second C, it's going right through. It's just like, yeah, make it make
Awesome.
sense, or don't make it make sense. Just continue to
Yeah.
allow us to do that. But like, but I'm kind of going off topic here. But like,
And
it is one of
no,
them things.
and
Like,
like there's
I love to crack jokes. I love to just make people laugh. Like, it's one of my important things, like, is for me personally, if I can make one person laugh every single day with something I've said, something I do, that's an achievement for me, because I personally know, well, for me, it goes a long way for me, because like I know how much a good laugh can really, really go.
oh yeah.
Like, I can really just say, you'd be having the shittest day ever. As soon as you get a good laugh out of something, it's like you forget for however many minutes that you ever had any problems, because you just had a good laugh. And you want to have that feel. It's like, in a sense, like it's like chasing the dragon a little bit, but it's just like you want to laugh again. You want to laugh again. It's
Yeah,
like in
but
a really good,
it's
healthy kind of way. You're not fucking shooting up any illicit substances, but
yeah. No, and it's like it's very the thing is it's so well intentioned,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and because like based on like what you just said, it's so funny. There's we have the funny thing about that is the same day that like the great people of like Hawks community found me, they also found on the same day one of my best friends when it comes to the community, and that was the money man. We have a running joke in our community that
Mm-hmm.
he works for TikTok, like TikTok, because literally he'll come in a chat, drop something absolutely heinous, and it'll go right through. And then I say the word jugs or like cannons, and it won't go through. So like we have this running joke that like Moneyman works for like TikTok because like everything goes through. Like all the stuff that dude, like think about all the stuff like you get to go through
Yeah,
amplified by 10.
I
And
love
I'm
that.
like, we're all just completely shocked. And I'm and it's just dude, it makes on a daily basis between you and him, I belly laugh at the just because I'm just shocked every time at what possibly can get through this filter.
I love that. I love. I just, yeah. I mean, like that. For me myself, that is only a small aspect. I have a very strange sense of humor, and like there's. I'm not saying it's a dark sense of humor. It's this, that, and the other. Shit makes me laugh. If I find it funny, I'm gonna
Oh,
laugh, right? And like, I think it's important to know the audience that you're in. So like, I'm very selective of the lives I go into, depending on what I say. But it's all still like, I guess the point I'm trying to make is authenticity is just,
yes.
and like, I think the moment that you worry about what people are gonna think of you based on the things you say or do, I think that's like the first sign that you're not being authentic. Or
Mhm.
there's that, or there's like a sense of shame in the person you are, which I,
Yep.
I don't think neither are good things. Neither are good things. I think you should just,
No.
regardless, if you have the confidence to be behind a camera talking to people online, playing a game where people have the open floor to judge you and based on what you're doing. They could be like, you look at your gameplay, look at your appearance, and they can say whatever they want because it's the internet. If you have the confidence to do that alone, you should have the confidence as well to just be yourself. Like, just be who you
Yeah.
are and just like thrive and be proud of that. And it's the same way if you are comfortable to go to go into somebody's chat with 30 plus people and say all the curse shit in the world. Yeah, like, I mean, nobody, you could go into someone's chat, say all sorts of curse things. Nobody's going to sit and think, oh, this is your personality, you're a piece of shit. People are just going to be like, that was funny, you
That was
know
hilarious.
do it
Yeah.
again, kind of thing. And it's like, I think, when you're a streamer, it's like you have to have the right perceptions on things. You have to have the right reasons to do this.
Mhm.
Not just a case of, I want to make some extra money, of course, which of course, I mean, if you want to do it as a side hustle, that's fine. But like, obviously there is a lot more to doing that
Hmm.
in terms of turning that into a success. Um, but it is like, I just think it's an incredible thing what we do. And like, there are some, I know we've kind of trailed off here massively, but you know what?
Sorry,
It's no,
that's my bad, dude.
dude, no, do not. This is just like I said, I can't explain this enough. This is the whole point of this, man. 100%. This is the
Yeah,
whole point of this. Um, but yeah, it's like you do meet some incredible people, and even though if it's somebody on the other side of the world, like you can tell so much about them just being behind the camera playing a
yeah.
game. You can tell
No,
so much about a person, and it's just incredible.
no, it really is. And like just to that point, like your people, your OGs, the ones who you spend every day with, they will see right through you, whether it's like whether you're having the bad day or you're starting to act fake or anything like
Yeah,
that. And you just gotta be you. You know, it's like this and like if you're not gonna be you, and this is just like I can only speak for myself. If you're not gonna be you, don't do this.
hundred
You know,
percent.
don't because and I'll tell you, like the one thing that just resonated with me that you said, like there's things that are amplified up, amplified down that we do and things of that sort. Like and this is one of the things like I part of me that a lot of people don't know and like it honestly it was there's only one person and now I'm just because it just resonated with me so hard and because I'm going to be honest and authentic with it, I have one person in like one of my OGs who I talk to on a daily basis about everything and anything.
Yeah,
And one of the things is what I call my myself cool down period.
yeah.
So I there was a Brock Lesnar,
Oh yeah,
obviously.
of course, the beast
Yeah,
incarnate.
yeah. You want to talk about a mammoth of a man? That guy's a stud. But anyway, he was on the
Well,
Pat McAfee.
questionable given the allegations, but I get you the
Yeah,
context, you
but you know what I meant. But
know.
he was on the Pat McAfee show a couple years ago,
Oh yeah.
and he shared with the world that he would literally like not talk to people for days
Hmm.
after he would go out and perform in front of the thousands of people. What a lot of people don't know is I have a self inflicted cool down period just because like during stream I'm so like ramped up talking to everyone like I am one of the most like socially awkward people you will ever meet and it's like it comes as a shock to so many people just based on how I am
Hmm.
like in front that like when I press like end live like there's legit like it's cool like it's I just come down and I need 15-20 minutes to like not be in front of my computer my phone like I put it away for 15-20 minutes because like I do have some social anxiety I do have like I have some social awkwardness and I need that 20 minutes to
Yeah.
just tell myself you did good you had a good time everything's fine and like I don't want to sound like I'm like this mental head case but like
No, no, not at all.
I it's important because it's part of me and I just really that's why you won't see me in lives right after another live because it's like I'm just like all right I need to relax for a minute everything went fine you did good
Yeah, that's amazing
yeah
because like what you really just said, what I got out of that was like, for this 2 3 hours, I'm about to step out of my comfort zone,
yeah
and
no
I need the time to like self affirmation at the end of it, which I think is very important
yeah,
because
no
if you don't give that to yourself, nobody else is going to do it. So like you need that time after to be like, okay, it's like the whole sort of like cognitive behavioral therapy type thing, where write down 5 things that you're grateful for. Write down 5 things maybe you could have done better, etc., etc., etc. You're laying everything out. You're just kind of like taking that time to reflect on like the last few hours, but in the most sort of like positive way, where it's like, okay, that was good, that was good, this happened, this happened, I enjoyed this, I had these laughs, like this, that, and the other. That's a healthy that's a healthy thing, just because it gives you as well that sort of like, you're away from the screen for a little bit, you're taking that time to just be like, okay, good. Because I mean, I think 99% of people fall into the trap where, like you say, they go into somebody else's life. They don't really get that time to sort of like to
No.
have that cool down period, like you say. And I think that's a very important thing. And it's very I know that this is like the fucking meme of the month or anything, but it's very mindful what you're doing. Like, and I think
Yeah.
mindfulness is like one of the more important things, because I think you do get like lost in everything. Because like I imagine by the time you get are able to go into somebody's live right after um having your cooldown period, you're kind of like, okay, cool, I know exactly, my mind is clear, I am ready for this. And like, it's just a case of you're kind of coming back down, you're just back down to your normal self, and it's like, cool. And if anything, it does help. Like, I think it helps. Like, I
No.
mean, do you find that, like, having been a streamer for so long, that your sort of like anxieties in real life are like somewhat alleviated? Or what do you think of that, in terms like, is it sort of still a kind of same, or has it kind of helped that?
So, I mean, I feel like it's so separate.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like in life there's triggers that trigger your
Yeah,
anxiety,
for real.
and so I definitely say in social situations, like I'll always be I am who I am outside. Like when
Yeah.
I'm not working or I'm not streaming, I'm very much the guy. I'm the guy at the bar I'm having my vodka tonic, just chilling, just
Yeah.
relaxing, hanging out. I'm not the one that's, you know, pounding on the table because someone scored a touchdown. I'm very much the guy who's hanging out and not necessarily wanting to be approached, but if someone does approach me, I'm going to be the very gentle,
Yeah.
friendly soul that I am, that I think I am,
Of course, of
unless I'm
course.
like rizzing someone uncontrollably. But in all seriousness, I'm very much the one that's hanging out.
Yeah.
I'm quieter than I am on stream. But yeah, but to answer your question, it's helped. But there's certain like aspects of life that will always trigger the anxiety to like. It's like okay, you need
Yeah.
to like handle it.
Of course, of course. Yeah, because like, I suppose at the end of the day, it's like a case of something happens online that you're not comfortable with. It's so much easier to remove yourself from that situation than it is something
Yes.
that you might have to face head on in real life. And like, of
Yes.
course, in terms of like anxieties and things like that, the main way to tackle that is to face it head on, and just kind of,
Of
in some aspects, just say fuck it and go for it. And like, it's such an such an easier said than done thing, but like, it, I mean, you know yourself, it is just one of them things. Like, it's like, kind of, you're not sitting at the bar, with your vodka tonic, thinking, oh my god, if somebody approaches me, what am I going to do? It's a case of,
course.
somebody approaches you and it's like, hello, what's up, baby?
No.
Yeah, Dini, so I do just have one more question for you. This has
Sure.
been phenomenal. It's been so good having you on, man. I've absolutely really enjoyed our chat today, but I just wanted to round it off with this here. So, since you have started streaming on TikTok, like, it has been, you've had such a surge, and you've like, gained such a phenomenal following, built an amazing community, and you're not afraid to sort of be yourself, test out variety, just different things. So, based on that and the current momentum that you have, what does the future hold for you? What is it that you want to get out of your platform in the long term?
Yeah, you know what? It's it's kind of funny. It's the long term is just survival. It's like I don't. It really is. It's like
Yeah, for sure.
I want to be friends with the community I'm with 5 years down the road. I want to still be shooting the shit with you
Oh
five
yeah.
years down the road. I want to like to answer an earlier question, like I want to be doing a Diddy Kong Racing tournament twice a year, like things of like that sort. Obviously, with its tweaks and things,
Yeah.
and like of course, but it really is just making sure I'm consistently a place where a my people feel safe and that they can go to, and be that constant for them, and be that I have that constant at the end of the day too,
Yeah.
you know and I think that's so important. It's like, yes, we all want to evolve, but like you can evolve within a great thing, and although like you've been in my streams, I'm so self-deprecating, and like I'm trash, I stink at the game, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like I know my people and I are building something really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
And and that's why I love like I'm kind of branching out away, not fully away from Mario, but like I'm trying different things within
Yeah.
the weekly schedule. Like you're doing the same. Like even Freeman today was we were watching him cook.
Yeah.
Like Freeman was doing like his meal prep on live. So like there's just like the variety and like the evolution of that is what I'm like really focused on. Like listen, if I can make this a full-time thing, that would be awesome. That would be the coolest thing ever. But like my focus is just honestly staying close to the people I'm close with,
Yeah.
and then evolving the Luigi Dini brand into something big, but it's still consistent.
For sure, man.
And but the most important thing will always be that while I'm playing whatever I'm playing, I'm looking at chat and I'm making sure I'm answering every single person, because the last thing I want to do is have like granted when I the day that I raced Jim in that 31 star, like just a little friendly competition. It was like a Saturday morning, and like viewership spiked. Um, it was cool, but like the fact that I couldn't answer everyone in chat like
Mm-hmm.
gave me like it like kind of like sullied how great that was, because it's like I wanted to make sure I was talking to everyone, and I never want to be the streamer that can't answer someone's question or
Yeah, of
see how
course.
their day was, because like these people are the ones who brought me to the dance, like the Marissas, the Jericas, they brought me to the dance. So it's like I will always need, and this is a personal thing, need to make sure I'm answering my people and the people in my chat, making sure that they're good. And then like because the number at the end of the day, and like I know all streamers say this, but the numbers don't matter, bro.
No,
Like
of course.
I could have five, I could have 500, but if I'm able to talk to the five and have quality conversations, it means so much more to me.
Oh, for
It means so much
sure.
more to me.
For sure. I totally agree. Totally agree. Like being around like the five people, like you say, five people with better conversation, way better than
Yes.
500 just, you know, posting brain rot into your chat and you not being able to kind of keep up with it to the point where you just don't because you can't, so you
Mhm.
don't.
Yeah.
And like I think that kind of shows the difference between levels of streamers. Like obviously like you're talking like bigger streamers who like people who do this full time, they're like constant like sponsorship kind of deals, shit like that. They're the ones who just like have over 1,000 people in their chat, but they're actively ignoring it because they're playing the game. And it's kind of like, I get you're playing games for a living, I get you're getting paid incredibly handsomely for this, but like, where's the life and soul into what you're doing? Your reaction's
And that,
fine, but
yeah.
like it doesn't feel, I don't feel like I'm sharing this reaction with you while watching you. I feel like I'm just watching you do this. I'm not feeling anything from this because there's no personality, there's no personal connection behind it, which I think is important as a streamer to have,
Oh,
because at the end
yeah.
of the day, like we are people, the people who are watching us are people, It's just
Yep.
what just because like we're streaming because we're behind the camera, we're playing the game, people are watching us. Why should that distinction be made whenever
Yeah.
there
No,
is not? There is none. Like we're just people surrounded by people, and like it is just yeah, like I think you've hit the nail
yeah.
on the head there, man. 100%. Like it's
Because
important to
like
have like a better
honestly,
quality than quantity.
yeah. And I mean, granted, I question it every single day that people come to my stream. It's like I'm so mid when it comes to this game. If you want to go watch a speed like if you're coming to watch a speed run Mario, someone speed run Mario at a high level, go watch Green Sweegie, go watch the pros. Like like my group of people literally like there was a stream where they
Yeah,
taught me how to do cannonless and they taught me how to do Peach's slide. Like I didn't know how to do that crap.
yeah.
Like they are literally typing in chat as I'm walking through the plank how to do it, and then for there was literally a stream where I spent an hour on Peach's slide, and I kept landing on the pillar in the middle, which is now called a pillarless perfect. But like now we don't do that anymore. But like because I've actually improved a little bit,
Oh,
but
bro.
like without that, like I would much rather have that happen and like hang with my people than be like an amazing speedrunner and not see what my people are typing to me
Oh
or what
yeah.
anyone's typing to me.
100%. Like I say, you absolutely nailed it there. And even to go back to like a point that you made right at the very start, where you're talking about your old content, from like a year ago, the stuff that got you to your 1,000 followers on
Yeah.
TikTok, like the stuff right now you say it, you might look back and cringe on it kind of thing and be like, holy fuck, like
So cringe.
but like
So
at the end of
cringe.
the day, it's like you look back at things like that. Look back at things like, your chat teaching you how to like do aspects of Mario 64 speedrunning and compare that to where you are today. Like two things are
Yeah.
like night and day. It's kind of like, holy crap. Like, I mean, what a fucking ride this has been, you know?
No,
Like
really.
it's a
It's
journey
unbelievable.
and it's a fucking great one at that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's crazy how much has happened in such a short amount of time because like yeah, I didn't start till don't bully Freddy. Never mind. Don't mind me. I started TikTok at the end of January. I didn't meet a bunch of these people till probably somewhere in February, and then I didn't start speedrunning till March, and now it's October. So like just the amount of people and the amount that's happened in such a short amount of time, like this has been my year. Like
Yeah,
this
for
has been
sure.
like the community itself has been the highlight of my year, honestly. And wouldn't know what my year would be without it.
No, man.
Really.
I absolutely love that for you. Like the fact that you've had the year that you've had so far, I genuinely believe that like it can only improve and it can only get like just really just fucking rocket from here, man. Honestly, and like I am excited for you. I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. And
Yeah.
yeah, man, it's gonna be something else, man. It's gonna be something else for sure.
We'll see,
Yeah.
man.
So, Dini, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on behind the camera. Thank you again so much for taking the time to come on the podcast. It has been brilliant, as I say. Um, where can we find you on Twitch and TikTok? Where can we find you?
Sure. So on Twitch, it's just LuigiDini. And then if you want to follow me on TikTok, it's LuigiDini Stream is where you'll find me. But yeah, that's where you find me. Find me. Hopefully, y'all come through, and yeah,
Yeah.
just want to chill. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, and that's it. If you want somewhere with self-proclaimed mid gameplay, but a safe space all around, welcoming
Yeah.
community, and just look at this stud here for those watching. Look at this fucking stud here. If you want a bit of that, definitely give LuigiDini a follow on all platforms. Like, his streams
Appreciate
are
the plug, man.
incredible. Of course, dude. Of course. As always, I have been AndyGames_94. This has been behind the podcast. Behind the podcast. Oh my god, I fucked up my own outro.
I mean, I even said it. I said it with a pun 3 times during this episode for you. Behind the camera, bro.
Fucking
Come on,
keeping that
man.
in, keeping that shit in. As always, this has been Behind the Camera with AndyGames. Thank you everybody who has tuned in. We appreciate you. Yeah, and we will be back again for another installment of Behind the Camera with AndyGames. Until then, guys, take care.